It's the last question. Do you get to this point in the exam and go, oh, that's such a blast, but thank goodness, because now I can really sink my teeth into this question. Thanks for all those questions we've done so far. Okay, we found coordinates. Now we go. Sprinklers, jets of water. Now we're talking. Or is that just me? No, but really, I'm being facetious, but also somewhat serious to go, take this as an opportunity. These are the questions that you can sink your teeth into to really now draw on a vast array of skills and knowledge in the section we've been doing. So this question could encompass all of the things you've done so far. It could just look, this just looks at parabolas, but it could be a variety of things. And really, you could need some of your circle geometry. So you really could need some paper 2 things in here. Should normally be just paper 1 oriented, but don't think that it's just going to focus in on one little part of the paper. It could draw on a vast array of your skills. So let's see how we're going to tackle a question like this. And I'm going to really try and stop myself from going, here's how you do it. But see what types of things we could look at. We're given all of these things, and it's pretty much all drawn on the diagram for us. Just thinking about parabolas. We've got something here. What's special about this point, apart from it being the origin, for our 2 parabolas? What is really special about, not really special, but what is special about that point in the context of these 2 parabolas? There are 2 things that come to mind for me. One, it's an x-intercept. So it's one of the x-intercepts of this parabola. Let's make this little guy in red, and let's make the other one in yellow, the bigger parabola. And so it's an x-intercept, and there are other x-intercepts. There's an x-intercept, and there's an x-intercept. What else is really special about it? Well, they're both equal to each other. So that could be something. Now, let's look at some of the other bits of information given to us. There's a point M over here. What is point M of this higher parabola? Well, it's a turning point. So maybe something to do with turning points useful. Now here's a bit that we haven't always used that often. But this turning point must be directly in the center of these 2 x-intercepts. So like if this value B is, and I don't even want to look at what the values might be. Let's say that B is 100. It's definitely not 100. Then this would be 50, because the turning point is directly in the middle. So it's a useful little feature. We don't always use that often. If this is 20, then this x value must be 10. And you see it's directly in the middle. So that could be useful, this kind of idea. Okay, so we could maybe do something with the turning point. Oh, T. Looks like we were given a turning point of this line here. So we've got a turning point of this here. Immediately, what are the coordinates of P? Given just looking at the picture, you got the turning point of 2, 4, and this distance is 12. What are the coordinates of point P? Well, yeah, the x value must be the same. So that must be 2. That distance is 12, so this must be 16. We've got quite a few things already. We know this is 0, 0. We know that's 2, we haven't used that yet. We know we've got x-intercepts we're interested in, x-intercepts. There's a turning point here we might find out. Okay, so we've kind of spent a little bit of time just grappling with the diagram. Remember, this thing's given you 5 marks. It may take you 10 minutes to solve, maybe more. But we've got to try to get into the question, and also by scribbling on the diagram, I've tried to show a little bit of my thinking. Okay, time's up, must hand in, take my photo of my PDF or whatever it is. But I've already shown some of my thinking. So I've done that, and then we can try and get into it and say, what else is given to us? There's a maximum of 4. There's some other things. Determine the maximum height of the jet of water fired from sprinkler 2. What is it asking us? Well, what is it asking us? It's asking us to determine point M, really. That's all it's asking. Find the y value of point M. right? The height of water jet 2 must be that one there. So can you find out this? This is going to be our key goal. Can we find out what that value there is? Is that enough to, maybe you're still sitting, oh, I'm not sure, but just want to kind of give you an into the question. So, well, maybe that's how I can get in. I've got quite a bit of information. What else? There's quite a lot maybe embedded here. Can we find out the equation of this line? Will that help? Maybe we can find out what A is if we've got the equation of this parabola. Hey, if we've got the coordinates of A, don't we automatically have the coordinates of B? Hey, cool, if we've got the coordinates of B, then can't we get, that type of thinking to go, let's see what we can find out. Can we find A? Can we find out B? Well, if we can find out A and B, does that help us find out, maybe we should try and find the equation of this line? Maybe not, I don't know, but, that's where we're going to try and get to. So there's maybe an into that particular last question and a bit of an into the last question in general of the exam, of just try and grapple with it, put down the bits that you think you can find, try and figure out, so what is it, maximum height? So that's what I'm trying to find in the end. So if I could find the turning point, I'm there. And there are going to be numerous ways of getting there. So my plea as always is, okay, I didn't know what to do, so I looked at the memo and the memo told me the next step. Just keep trying to find all the bits of information you can and go from there. Because maybe the memo does it in a slightly different way or a different order, or you find A and you didn't need to in the solution that the memo took many ways. So yeah, enjoy grappling with that question, and enjoy grappling with the question when you're practicing, because grappling with this question just reinforces all of these concepts that we're doing here, and suddenly you're doing it in a different context and you come back and you go, oh, this seems a whole lot easier, because you spent 20 minutes, 30 minutes practicing this question. And by practicing, just going through it. And then you spend 30 minutes on the previous year's last question, really played around with it. And it really will strengthen the rest of your paper, rather than going through and doing another past paper of all the other questions. Spend half an hour on this last question. So with that, I think is it chocolate time? No, too much, right? Okay, enjoy.